This is the new vibe of 2023 for the podcast.
Yeah.
And I just had a look at the few people that had connected with the post recently and or, had historically been there. And I thought, oh, here she is. I'll send her a message and see what she's up for.
I'm here. I'm here.
So I'm glad to see you're well. I'm curious, what piece of content did you connect with recently from Conscious Creatives?
I don't know if it was recent, but you had a video about busy, blessed, booked, something like that. And you were talking about sitting on the kitchen table and just taking action. And I'm like, I'm sitting at this kitchen table all the time, trying to think, and thinking's not doing it. So you gotta do. And I think that's something that even from the calls that we had, when you were coaching me, it was really like after we talked, I thought for a while, but at some point you need to go and do things, And for me, that's something like really, it took time to thinking, but now I get it.
Right. And how would then that relate to something recent, like a recent sort of business case or something? You mentioned the evidence file too?
Yes. So I've continued. So when we had the calls, that was like maybe in 2020, I think.
Right.
And since then, I think we talked about so many things, but I kept on looking around because I was thinking so much. That period of thinking was actually really good. I was not teaching. It was lockdown as well. And I was in Melbourne, so I was not teaching. Performance were quite, in terms of numbers, was quite low. And I don't know, like this year, I don't know, like I was like, I feel like when I'm actually busy doing something, I feel more positive. Things get done. It's not perfect, but it's done. Something happens, and I've got more chances to get where I want to be if I start moving than if I sit at my kitchen table, as usual, just thinking, what am I gonna do next? So yeah,
right.
Yeah, that definitely helped.
I like it. It's funny, the idea for booked, busy, blessed. Tongue-tied this morning. Booked, busy, blessed.
Yeah.
I thought about it, and I was like, they're the three things that at least 95% of the people that want to work with me actually want. And I look back at the previous case studies and went, familiar with Groove Zone in LA and Sydney. Yolanda kicked off with me, was one of the founding five at least. And she's now got, thriving classes with both Sydney and LA.
Nice.
And she's had interesting stories along the way, interesting sort of, even mini roadblocks and whatnot. But when you look at the overall picture, she's now got merch, she's now got classes going. It's branched off into other vocal gigs for the rock side in New York and whatnot. So it's gotten bigger for her with that sense. But it's nice to know that LA and Sydney both kicked off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously you're working with Kate with the comedy thing as well. So that's doing its thing and that's building up as well. And I just thought about yourself with the classes and the performances in Melbourne and seeing how that was coming along.
Yeah, I feel like I was thinking too much. Like sometimes you're just in your head, and when you're in your head, nothing happens really because you're not doing anything. You're just thinking. And so for me, the idea of booked, busy, blessed, I was like, okay, first of all, if I want to get busy, I need to go out. Like I will not get busy at home. That's for sure. And it took me time, but I started with my dance challenges, and I was like, okay, it's lockdown. I can't go out. Let's just do something productive while I'm home. I would dance. The first challenge I did was 1 minute of choreography every day for 90 days.
There you go.
I was at home. Then I stopped for a while, and then you posted that, and I was like, damn. Maybe I need to get back again. So I started that again. And we were still in lockdown, mind you. So I was like, okay, let's just start something different. I was doing 30 days, like just dancing for 30 days, every day. And that was great. And people would react online because I needed some accountability. So I would post it on Instagram and people would react and comment. And that's how I tried to get to know people, because I was also living from Sydney before the lockdown. And then during the lockdown, I moved to Melbourne. So I also didn't know people. And I kept on, my excuse for not doing anything was, I don't know anyone, like, and that's not a good excuse because you can still go out and meet people. So, so posting about my dance journey helped to meet a lot of people. I started to get out. And this year, I decided, okay, enough of dancing at home in my room, enough of like just being like on the backside, because I would also say, okay, let's just support people. I would support other people. And that was also filing, that was also part of evidence filing, like going out, meeting new people, going to their dance class, going to their events, supporting everyone else. And this year I was like, okay, I keep supporting, great, but I also need to support myself. And for that, I need to take action. And so to be busy, you need to be booked. To be booked, you need to get out. So there you go. And I'm blessed. Like, I'm not even talking about being blessed, because I feel like the whole time I've been feeling like I'm blessed because I know I have people who support me and who are there for me. I know I'm in a great country where I can do my thing. Now it's about doing the thing. So to be booked, you need to get out. So that's it. So I started teaching classes maybe 2 weeks ago. And I also started to go at event organizers to say, okay, you've got a concert coming in, book me. That's it. Like,
Really?
So I'm booked for a concert next week, performing and teaching a workshop there and things like that. So that's great. And I'm going to continue doing that. So that's still evidence fighting for me, like I just like keep on, the more I do things, the more I've got evidence that I'm in the right track, basically.
Yeah. So creating the 2023 evidence file.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
That's it.
And so what would be, if you had, let's say it this way, if you had one theme for this year on the lining up of being booked, when you think about being booked and you had one sort of statement or word or whatnot, what would that be?
It's action. Take
there
action.
You go.
That's
yeah.
it. That's it. No, but that's true, because a lot of the time, especially creative, you need the time to sit down. You need the time to, clear your mind and things like that. But you also need to do. Nothing will happen at your place. Like, I mean, you can create stuff, but you need to do something, like you need to physically do something for something to happen. So that's it. Oh, that's it. Simple. For me, that's simple. Just take action. That's it.
Really good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, action for 2023. And thank you for being the first one to show up for the book Busy Blessed.
Nice.
Exciting, huh? It's good.
Yeah, that's good. And I'm excited to see what you got coming up as well, because I see you busy. That's the thing. I see you busy and you're booked as well. So I'm like, I want to see more of like what you're doing, and I'm following.
It was literally, the theme popped up when I thought about it, and I went, in the first, I'd say 2 years, shaped what Conscious Creatives was. Shaped. I knew I had something. It's sitting there going, I know I've got something, but I need to find out what it is. I need to find out what that is. And then obviously Krav Maga instructor, hip hop choreographer, local business owners and whatnot went, and it just started to form. And then once I realized what it was, I went, okay, so now go out and support with that. And it was like, that became really easy and obvious. But yeah, the theme on book Busy Blessed was really, that nailed it for me too.
But see, you got busy. Like, you didn't just wait for something to happen. Like you had something already, and you could have just said, "Oh yeah, that's good. I can just go with the flow, let it go." But you were active into like finding what's next, and you were like, I don't know. I feel like this word action, it's for everyone. It's not just like for one person. It's everyone. Like, you've got an idea, just go for it. Just go for it. Whether it's perfect or not, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you've done it. So you can always refine.
Yeah.
You can always refine. And that's what you did. You started with something, you didn't know what you were doing, but you started, you did it,
Yes.
and
Yes.
now you can refine. Like, so yeah, I love it. I love that.
And you mentioned evidence file. I enjoy the loop then, because once you've taken the action, you see something coming in on the
Exactly. And when we were talking, we talked about dance, we talked about food as well. And
Yes.
even in that department, I started to, I don't know, one day I was just like cooking and I was like, oh, why don't I record it? And then same thing, people are looking at it and they're like, oh yeah, I love it. But I got to meet people through that. And that's now also seeing my dance, you know? So that's it, taking action. That's it.
But it's a good road forward, because food then have that conversation with the performance, with the teaching, and then that can
Exactly.
loop together.
Exactly. That's exactly. So yeah, I just love it. I love that.
I enjoy that. All right. Well, look, it's good. It's good coverage. Thank you so much for joining me.
My
I
pleasure.
appreciate
Thank you for having me.
2023 action
Let's go.
word is
Yeah.
just the word action. Effectively,
Yeah.
2023 the word is action.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it. Well, enjoy, and as we continue, hey.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you.
All right. See you.